Hi, Ben. I'm a big fan of yours, and at the meet and greet, I told you I've watched all your shows and
well,
watched
thank
all
you. I
your
appreciate
debates.
it.
So this question, I know no one's asked you yet, because it's a relatively new phenomenon. But to preface before we get onto the question, you've mentioned before, to which I agree to, that the women back in the days, more with like Christian values and Judeo-Christian values, that they've realized men act a certain way. Therefore, we should take preemptive measures so that men don't act that way because we know how they act. Whereas the new third-wave feminist movement sees men and says, well, if men act that way, therefore women can act that way as well. So what this is leading to is the new phenomenon is the slut walk movement. I don't know if you've known about that.
Yeah.
With Amber Rose. Yeah, so I'm just wondering, what do you think are the ramifications of women saying, well, if men can go out and dress however they want and women can do the exact same thing, do you think that leads to a loosening of the fabric of society, where shame is a necessary determinant in society?
Yeah,
and that it leads to like sexual assault and an increase in things?
Okay, so I think that, first of all, if somebody commits a sexual assault, the only person to blame is the person who commits the sexual assault, right? That right off the bat. Right? Victims are not to blame for their own sexual assault. I also think that if you put yourself in a risky situation, then you've put yourself in a risky situation, right? We do this every day, right? Every day we make decisions about what sort of situations to put ourselves in. If I walk through a high-crime neighborhood waving $100 bills above my head and then I am robbed, then it is the fault of the person who robs me. It is not my fault. But I also made a bad decision to do that.
Yes.
Okay, so two things can be true at once. And it is not blaming the victim to say that it's a bad decision to walk through a high-crime neighborhood at night waving your wallet over your head.
Yeah.
Right? It is also not a good idea to go to parties where drinking and drugs are commonplace with a bunch of guys who are pigs.
Yes.
Right? That's just not a good idea. Now, does that relieve responsibility from the guys? 100% not. If a guy rapes you or sexually assaults you, he should be castrated or killed.
Yeah.
I'm very strict on this.
Absolutely.
But,
and one more question.
One of the things that I hate so much about this conversation is that people assume two things can't be true at once. That if I think that rape is bad, and I also think that you shouldn't make decisions that heighten your own risk factor, that I'm somehow blaming the person who heightened the risk factor for the bad thing that happened to them. No, two things can always be true at once, and normally they are.
Yeah, I just think the slut walk's increasing the sexual liberation.
You know, as far as slut walk, again, I don't know why anybody would be prideful about their own promiscuity, man or woman.
Yeah.
It's confusing to me. As somebody who was a virgin until marriage, and very proudly so, and believe that that has made my relationship with my wife better and stronger and holier, I am perfectly consistent on this. I hold women to a particular standard, I hold men to a particular standard. That standard is being classy.
Yeah.
I know that word has kind of lost some of its meaning these days, but being classy.
And one thing, Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks, he says that the Politicon debate that you were with, he says that it wasn't a real debate because debating you was like debating with a robot. So, and he preferred Tucker Carlson's debate. How do you respond to Cenk?
I mean, he preferred Tucker Carlson's debate because he and Tucker agree on more things. I mean, really, that's not a rip on Tucker. He and Tucker agree on all this stuff about corporations need to be restricted, and Tucker's more of an economic populist, and cut out campaign spending, and all this kind of stuff. I mean, if he doesn't like debating me, that's his prerogative. He agreed to it. I mean, and as far as debating a robot, like, I'm sorry, I'm good at my job.
Subscribe to the channel and be a nice person, sir. Follow me on Twitter, okay? Have a bloody nice day over there with a quite nice weather. Bye.